This is the Redman Podcast.
It's episode 1215, and it's the Relevant Podcast Thanksgiving episode. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What's happening?
And just down the street there in Nashville, downtown, Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, guys. Happy day before Thanksgiving. Everybody's listening to this. This is our one episode this week for Thanksgiving. We're taking the Friday show off. That's why we're releasing on Wednesday this week. We'll be back to normal next week, though, so just everybody. But happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, I feel very holiday-ish, and Emily's background is contributing to that.
She has a tree lit up behind her.
Listen, I'm normally a strong wait to put Christmas decorations up after Thanksgiving, but this one's so late this year, and I'll be traveling this weekend. So I was last weekend I thought I'll just go ahead and get all the decor out. I mean, it's a small apartment, so it's not that much, but
you get the box out.
I think you're close enough. I have a question for you. Last night, actually, I was leaving an establishment, and there's and walking through the parking lot, and there was a car there. And it looked like I was like, man, this person is really going for something here. And it was a nice car. I think it was a matte black Tesla. And it looked like the paint was like barbed wire. I was like, oh, this is an interesting, and it was all surrounding the whole car. And I walked up to it to check it out, and it was Christmas lights. They had affixed black string Christmas lights around the whole car with little pieces of tape. When they're turned off, it looked like barbed wire, but I didn't see it. I almost wanted to just stand there and wait till the owner eventually came out because I wanted to see the thing lit up. It seems like a hazard, but I also kind of just appreciate when cars go for it. I always get a good chuckle when I see the antler and the red nose or whatever.
I like the two little Santa legs hanging out of the closed trunk, flapping in the wind. Or elf legs.
Yeah. But is it me or are the Cybertrucks just out of hand? The designs and it's bro, guys, I think this was a bad idea. The Cybertruck thing. I don't know what y'all think.
What do you mean about Christmas decorations?
No, not even just people. Oh. Was it a Cybertruck that you saw? Because
it was a regular Tesla.
Oh, okay, because in Nashville, there's all kind of different Cybertrucks, and it's not cool no more. When it was going to be matte black, I was like, oh, that's going to be crazy. The silver, that's going to be crazy. All white. There was a artist promoting his thing, and he has a flaming dragon on the side of his Cybertruck, and it just was no, I'm done with it. I wanted a Cybertruck. I don't even want one no more. I ain't gonna even lie. I wanted one. I don't want the Cybertruck no more. Y'all made me not want the Cybertruck, and I don't like that.
See, I would go. I think if you're going to go Cybertruck, go all in.
Like a Jeep owner who lifts it and does all the crazy stuff. A normal Jeep is boring. It's a boring thing. A tricked out Jeep is kind of cool.
I want it lifted, and I want the spare tire to have a case that's a yellow smiley face with a bandana and a cigarette hanging out. Something cool. If I had the Cybertruck, dude,
something cool.
I would go from the Tesla dealership over to one of those places that do those vinyl wraps.
Yeah. Elon is doing his best to put us in a bad sci-fi movie.
Oh yeah.
That's what I think that's his goal.
All the future designs that they released or announced this year are direct ripoffs of sci-fi movies. He has no original designs coming out.
Yeah, wasn't it specifically iRobot?
Literally iRobot.
Right.
And when iRobot came out, it was kind of mid, y'all. It was kind of mid. People weren't man, that iRobot, man, that's a hit. It wasn't a Matrix.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? It was Will, what are you doing?
I agree with the quality. I agree with your commentary on the quality of the movie, Derek. But no one was like, "Man, I got to get one of those ratty Matrix sweaters." But when they watch iRobot, they're like, "Dude, that car's pretty rad. That's the heat right there." Someone brought that to life. I might buy it. And
the car was lit. The car was lit. I ain't gonna lie. The car was lit.
And that's his future Tesla, transporter, and then he's got that bus from iRobot coming, and obviously all the robots look like the iRobot robots.
My first stop would be from the Tesla dealership to one of those rat places. Said, I want American flag and bald eagle right on the hood, baby, right now.
There's one in Nashville. You don't got to do that. I guarantee you, in Nashville, if of all places, there's absolutely an American flag Cybertruck.
There have been a lot of Cybertrucks out on the road, and like when I first would see them, I was like, surely not everyone's got a Cybertruck yet, and I thought it was always the same person. No, too many people have been driving Cybertrucks, and it blows my mind.
I'm gonna tell you what the Cybertruck is, and this is gonna sound terrible, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. The Cybertruck to middle-aged, midlife crisis white men is the Scat Pack for black rappers. Like it's like every black rapper has a Scat Pack. That's what the Cybertruck, I feel like, is for us. It's not even middle-class white man. I would say just like midlife crisis. I was like, dang, I saved myself.
So it's the Corvette. It's this generation's Corvette.
Corvette. That's what it is. It's the new midlife crisis mobile. Like, that's what it is.
The problem is, like, my kid, like, he's got good taste in design and stuff. And when we see it, he'll be like, Cybertruck. And he's like, and he'll like point it out, but it's not like, oh, cool. It's like, ugh. Cybertruck.
Yes,
and he pointed out to me one time on the road, and it looks different in real life than it does in pictures. I can't explain that, but it does. When you see it in real life, it looks like he said this, and I can't unsee it, a dumpster that is like stretched. So like, the flaps come up on the dumpster. Imagine you pulled a dumpster and pulled it out, and that's a Cybertruck. And now when you see one, you pull up behind one, you can't unsee dumpster now.
I already saw trash.
Listen, y'all, I pre-ordered it. They said your order is in.
No.
And I just ignored it. I was like, y'all can keep my $100. Like and you're right, Cameron. It looks better in the photos.
Right.
Like when you see
it's
it
too
in
short
person,
in real life. It's squatty. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's small.
The dump truck, the
dumpster thing.
I disagree. Yeah. I think they look awesome. But I also don't disagree that they are the vehicle equivalent of like Affliction jeans in 2010. You know what I mean? Like you slide those. Exactly. Like you're in your early 40s, mid 50s. You slide one of those on, and you think you're cool again.
You think you're cool.
It's not that simple.
But people under 30 are rolling their eyes at you.
It's an Ed Hardy shirt. Like that's what it is.
You think shocking. Ed Hardy's still cool, but you don't realize when you walk into the bar, everybody's like, look at that dude in the Ed Hardy. But they're not saying, look at that dude in the Ed Hardy. They're saying, look at that dude in the Ed Hardy.
Yeah. Yes.
So what we've established is the Cybertruck is a vehicular equivalent of rolling up to like a sports bar on a Friday night in 2010 with an Ed Hardy shirt and Affliction jeans, right? And Diesel shoes.
Rolling up in 2020 and an Affliction shirt and Diesel jeans. You know what I'm saying?
Now, here's what I will say. I still think the all black Cybertruck is pretty slick looking. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Like the all black Cybertruck is pretty slick looking, but I can't rock with, like when I saw the dude with the flames, the dragon and the flames, I was like, yeah, y'all, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm cool.
See, here's the thing. Every time I pass a Cybertruck, I do try to look in to see, does the driver look like what I expect someone driving a Cybertruck?
100%.
And 9 out of 10 times I've been right. The one time I've been shocked, I saw, this was in like closer to Brentwood, Tennessee. I saw a blonde woman driving it. And I was shocked.
Every time I see like a cool like Range Rover Defender, like an off-road British vehicle,
G-Wagon,
you pull up, it is definitely a blonde soccer mom
yes.
driving that thing. 100% of the time, a G-Wagon every time.
Oh, the G-Wagon is the white blonde woman's vehicle
100%.
Of choice with money.
If you can upgrade from a Range Rover, you get the G-Wagon. But like the Range Rover's the first step.
But that is the basketball player's wife vehicle.
But a lot of friends, like, they've told me, like, their dream car would be like a G-Wagon, but it's always like, well, yeah, if you have money, you'll buy a G-Wagon. Like,
I heard a girl one time tell me that one day her dream was to be a Range Rover mom. Like, that's her life goal, to be a Range Rover mom. And I was like,
dream bigger, sweetie.
Yeah, exactly.
But when the Cybertruck driver rolls by, you're like, yeah, that guy definitely owns like 3 dental practices. You know?
Without a doubt.
He put the time in. Now he's, he
has a boat.
He's
and
enjoying
he has
the fruits of his labor.
And he still thinks Von Dutch hats are cool. So yeah, that's the Cybertruck owner.
Why did it, man? Why
But
did it
Derek,
happen?
real talk. If I'm just saying, like, you would still probably take the Cybertruck over 90% of what's on the road.
The problem is it's now become a vehicle that people, they think something about you because you have that vehicle.
It's a meme.
If I'm driving up in a Corolla, nobody's making character values about me. So I actually disagree. I would take 99% of the other cars so people don't make like assumptions about me because I own it. You know what I mean?
would just lean into the lifestyle,
Yes, it's a meme.
Yeah.
It's a meme, man. Like,
man.
You would have like a Cybertruck keychain, like a mini Cybertruck on your keychain for your Cybertruck. Like you would really go all out.
Yeah.
I just like my midlife crisis is old school. Like
An affair?
I have a 82 Corvette. I have an 82 Corvette. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Let's get rid of that one.
82 Corvette. Derek is faithful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, he is. Oh man.
You know what's funny though? As I was like, what would the uniform of like a Cybertruck? I was like, he'd probably have like black jeans, tight T-shirt, and like maybe like a blazer on the night out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just described Elon Musk.
Well, his jeans aren't tight by choice. They're just because he hadn't bought a new size in a couple years. Anyway, all right.
Oh, man.
All right.
Shout out Eli. Look, hey, listen, I love Eli. He's innovating. He doing his thing. But, all right, listen.
Let's clarify. Derek's giving a shout
The
out.
views of Derek Miner do not necessarily represent the views of Relevant Media Group.
I don't want my phone hacked, and I don't want my computer hacked to shut down. I don't want an army of robots at my steps. So look, Elon,
You're
you
cool.
all right with
You're
me.
all right.
You are
Go
all
to
right
the
with
next
me,
house,
my
not
brother.
my house. Yeah.
Don't get mine.
He
It's
fashions
them.
himself as like Tony Stark, but he in real life he's more like a guy that owns a lot of like Tony Stark posters. You know what I mean? Like just kind of like someone who's like really into the MCU, like an adult who's way too into the MCU instead of like a character from the MCU. Like I think.
Oh man, you definitely got an army of robots coming your way, brother. Just let you
This
know.
is now on the internet.
Starlink
He can
is
hear
looking
you.
down at me.
He is scanning
takes it
on
personal.
podcasting. That's Jesse Carey, everybody. Okay. Well, we have a great show in store for you today. I don't think our guest today owns a Cybertruck or an Ed Hardy shirt. Thankfully, Matt Redman joins us. He has a new Christmas album that just came out. It's great. We talked to him about that. Matt, he's an OG worship leader doing some great stuff. So about that. At the end of the show, topical game, we have turkey table topics. Now, in years past, we've done like the Thanksgiving meal side bracketology and all this stuff. We're like, been there, done that. We're going to mix it up. So we have turkey table topics. Basically, the premise is you're going to be stuck with extended family, this week. And invariably, there's going to be lulls in the conversation, or the conversation is going to go in directions you don't want it to go. Maybe like, why are you still single? Or, talking politics. So these are table topic ideas for you to reclaim the dinner table conversation this week. So turkey table topics coming up.
Get behind
there
this
you go.
one.
And
I can get behind
stay
this
tuned
one.
after this break. It's Relevant Buzz. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by World Vision. We all subscribe to a lot of services that make our lives easier and more entertaining. But as followers of Jesus, we should want to seek first the kingdom of God in all areas of life, including our spending. That's why I'm so excited about a new kind of subscription through World Vision. Not one for myself, but for others. It's called Believers for World Change. And when you sign up, you're joining a community of change makers working to help end extreme poverty around the world and here at home. World Vision is a Christian humanitarian organization that works with children, families, and communities to reach their God-given potential, focusing on things like gender equality, spiritual nurture, and access to clean water, education, job training, and healthcare, so the entire picture of poverty can be addressed. Let's subscribe to something new together. Subscribe to World Change today at worldvision.org. Again, that's worldvision.org. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
All right, tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
All right. Well, we are kind of in the middle of football season, something that I care deeply about.
All right.
As we all know. I feel like I've made my thoughts on football very clear. But something that I am interested in is notable people who speak out about their faith. And I have to hand it to athletes. They do a really good job of talking about God in interviews. And there's one guy in particular who went viral this week for what he said in an interview, and that's Cleveland Browns quarterback Jameis Winston. You guys may have seen it. We're going to play the clip to set the stage. This was before he played the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was being interviewed by Prime Video reporter, and here's what he had to say.
You have said you don't become a Brown until you beat the Steelers. What will it take tonight?
The horse is prepared for battle, but victory comes from the Lord. So I'm dependent on the Lord.
Is that the message to the team?
Day by day, one play at a time. That's the message.
Weather conditions tonight. We're expecting winds up to 15 miles per hour in a wintry mix. How will that impact your ability to throw the ball?
I am so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow, to be in true football weather in Cleveland, Ohio at Huntington Bank Field today to give him the glory. It's a beautiful day.
Jameis Winston, now here's what I'm going to say.
Yes.
This man literally was supposed to be that dude. Had some bad play, fell off bad, and has finally made it back to relevancy. He doing his thing. I love it. And I think if you've been through what he's been through to get to have the light strip, had a rug pulled from under you, battle your way back, I could see why you would be extremely humble. But he is also the most funny, inspirational, unintentionally funny dude. He has some legendary, memeable moments of him trying to be inspirational and it's not landing. And
Even
after the game.
Have you seen his workout videos too? You're like, he invented a new workout. It clearly, I don't think it's helping any part of his body, but he is 1,000% committed to it. And you're like, I don't think this man is capable of irony. He's 100% earnestness, and he is a national treasure.
He is. He's absolutely.
So I wanted to hear that. I didn't know that because I'm not an NFL guy. I remember him from college primarily. He went to FSU, got into trouble at FSU. They called it Free Shoes University for a reason. He got arrested stealing crab legs from Publix when he was in Tallahassee. And then, obviously there's been allegations of him doing not good things with ladies. And he has a rap sheet, right? So that's all I know about Jameis Winston. So when this clip started going viral, I was like, he loves Jesus now? Dude, after that game, he went even further with the Jesus stuff. That was last week. This week, same thing. And apparently, so I started digging a little bit. Apparently, this dude legitimately came to faith, legitimately is on fire for God. And no matter what a reporter asks him about football, he points it back to Jesus. It is the craziest thing. Every athlete who has any semblance of church experience at some point after a big victory will say, I want to thank God for the victory. What Jameis is doing right now, Jesse, I'm glad to hear you say that he's just unfiltered sincere, because I can't tell if it's a bit or if this dude just can't stop talking about Jesus because his life is so good right now. I don't know.
He unironically was asked about his performance the other day, and he literally this is literally one of his quotes. And this is and Derek, if you sound like you followed his career, he's incapable of irony. He is who.
I don't think he's trying. He's not trying to be facetious.
Here's what he said when asked about how his play this year. He said, "You can't say the sky's the limit when people are on the moon." And it's
what?
So true.
Put that on a shirt. That's one of those accessories posters right there.
I'm not
He
trying to
might live in a
relitigate.
library somewhere.
I'm not trying to relitigate something that happened 20 years ago, but even that crab leg thing, I don't think he was intentionally shoplifting. The owner of that grocery store,
Publix, a major chain. Yeah.
Yeah, but the manager had like,
Hey, me and Publix ain't on good terms.
Oh,
so I'm with
all right, that's true. That's true.
he had a deal with a lot of those players where he said, "Hey, pop by the deli. If you play for SFU, if you play for Florida State, I'm going to take care of you. Get whatever you want. Players get from the deli on the house." The problem was Jameis just took it a little too close to the sun, and I think he got the crab legs instead of the deli thing. I think if he got in the deli sandwich, we wouldn't even know the story. It was a genuine misunderstanding. I don't think he was audacious enough to go steal a giant steam. That's not something you can take.
But
I think it was a genuine misunderstanding.
But to be fair, there have been legitimate in his past accusations of sexual impropriety.
I'm talking specifically about the crab leg.
We're not trying to give him a carte blanche.
All we talk about is the crab
We're not trying to give him a carte blanche here. Yeah, okay. I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
But all we is saying, though, for real, he is not trying to be funny, but it's always funny.
Okay.
It reminds me of Michael Scott, bro.
Oh.
Like, this is like a very Michael Scott thing where it's like, he got to be joking. No, I don't think he's joking. Like, this is really this is where he at.
Man, this man just loves Jesus and wants to tell everybody about it, you know?
I love that for him.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I did want to ask this because as I famously don't pay attention to sports, I have noticed more stories this year, it seems, of athletes just speaking out more in like interviews, like nothing super profound necessarily, but just kind of crediting God for their performance. I don't know, different things like that. Are you guys noticing like an uptick trend, or is it just kind of finally getting to my feed?
To get serious, I honestly feel like culture has shifted so far to like religion is bad and faith is bad that there is a bit of a pendulum swing back the other way. Like people are like, why should I not talk about my faith? Like, why does everybody get to be bold about everything else, but I can't be bold about my faith? So athletes are usually going to be the guys that stand strong and make stances because that's what they do. They go out and put their body on the line every day so that say something they care about, like that's not much to it. So I see a pendulum swing back the other way.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, it's no longer just like the Tebows or like the outliers. Like I feel like it, but I feel like that cultural shift, I don't want to go on a tangent. I know we have a long show to do, but like even just beyond, I feel like even just beyond like religion and faith, I think culture's become much more open to spirituality too.
Facts.
Where it's just an openness to, even if it's not associated with the traditional organized religion, I think culture's just gotten more spiritual. They're more open to non-materialistic worldviews. And I think, whether it's that manifests in like religious comments or just people kind of open to new ideas, I think it's a positive thing because,
Yeah, I agree with you. I just hope that it's not a potpourri of spirituality of like a little Jesus, a little, whatever this, that, whatever. And that everybody's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm cool with God. Like what I'm hearing is more overtly bold. I mean, some of our biggest posts of the year on Instagram have been when we post college football team, leading baptism services at their college and stuff where it's like, it's like 4 or 5 guys from the, OSU, telling about their faith in the quad and, 200 kids get saved. And like, it feels like, when was OSU players talking about Jesus in the quad before? Like it just feels like there's more of an intentional boldness about Christianity that we've seen. I haven't seen this in a long time. I mean, honestly. So even on the Magic, I follow the Magic, I mean, 2 of our starters are like deeply outspoken about their faith. They weren't like that a couple years ago. I think they're finding faith and then wanting to tell the world about it. Like, this changed my life. If you watch The Good Place, which Derek got me into, and then I found out he never even bothered to finish it, but I did.
Oh, I'm in season 4 and I'm very frustrated.
Okay. It's going to end even more frustrated. But there's an overarching, literally stopped 3 episodes before the end, dude.
I'm right at the 3rd episode, and I'm like, this
dude,
is
it's gonna destroy everything if you finish the show. It's just it's a great show up to a point.
I'm committed. I gotta watch the last 2.
See it.
I already see it. I already see where that it's not going to end good, because the whole 4th season is.
But the whole point of the end of The Good Place is just kind of like, what happens when we get everything we were hoping for? Then what? Right? So I feel like with these athletes who are at the top of their game, millions of dollars, winning championships, they have everything that they've spent their entire life pursuing. And there's an emptiness still there. And then what? And I feel like these guys are coming to faith because of that. And the only thing that has brought them true joy and true fulfillment is their relationship with Jesus. And so when they're on the stage of like winning a game or winning a championship, and the reporters want to talk about how great you feel because of this championship, they're saying, y'all, it's not about that. It's about what Jesus did in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel that is such beautiful revival and like inspiring kind of movement that's happening. I didn't see that before. And I think, Derek, you're right. I think the pendulum swung real far in culture. And now these guys are going, that didn't fulfill me. And I found something that did. And I got to tell people about it because they don't know. Yeah. So anyway, I think it's an awesome trend. Emily, to your point or your question, I do think it's new. I think this is new. This isn't just after the Super Bowl. Thank God for this victory. I think this is something deeper happening. And I think it's awesome to see. So.
Well, yeah, I'm excited to see that. Maybe I'll start paying attention to sports.
Just for the testimony service afterwards?
Just for the testimonies. Just for Jesus. If Jesus wants me to watch sports, I guess I'll say yes. But we'll consider it. Anyways, moving on.
And also, if your coach tells you have a deal at Publix just to take a free deli sandwich from time to time, don't take all the crab legs. That's all we're trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm
crab
just
legs
saying,
are not deli.
No person would shoplift crab legs. There's no way to sneak them out of the store. They're crab legs. Obviously, it was a misunderstanding.
A cart full of crab legs.
That's what I'm saying. It was clearly a misunderstanding, and I'm not defending anything else, but I'm saying that was not a criminal act. That was a pure misunderstanding. The idea that
a Florida State football player didn't quite understand something is totally tracks for me. So
he was the quarterback. He was a Heisman candidate. It was not implausible to walk up to the counter and they're like, "Hey, that's the quarterback of FSU who might win a national championship. He's for the Heisman. Give this man some crab legs. Hey, thanks, bro." And then you're like, "Oh, I just got the hookup." And then you got to walk out and you got what the heck? I'm just saying. This one, I don't buy.
Free Shoes University, man. FSU.
A 20-year-old sports.
You're talking to a Gator fan here, so I'm not an FSU guy. All right. What's next, Emily?
Yes, moving on. I do want to talk about something that is happening in a few colleges these days. I feel like we all know college has gotten so much more expensive over the last few years. I read a study the other day that tuition has increased by 141% in 20 years, which is just crazy expensive now.
That is ridiculous.
Wait, so hold on. So basically, if a 4-year university in around 2000 was $20K a year, $80,000, it'll be pushing $200K now. That's crazy. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. It's like hard to wrap our minds around like that much money, but obviously because things are getting more expensive for college, students are obviously enrolling less because they can't afford that if they don't, have scholarships or things aren't helping them. And so this has been a really big problem for years, and universities all over the country are trying to do things to get more students enrolled and help them out with financial aid. And there are a few colleges who just announced some new plans this past week to waive tuition completely for middle and low income families.
Oh yeah, I like this. Come on, talk to me.
So there's 3 major ones I want to talk about. The University of Texas system has announced they will offer free tuition for students for families making $100,000 or less annually. MIT will waive tuition for students from families earning less than $200,000.
Awesome.
And today, Johns Hopkins announced it would waive tuition for students earning less than $300,000.
Johns Hopkins Medical School. So UT, MIT, and Johns Hopkins, we're not talking your regional, some rando bad degree school. We're talking the cream of the crop are making it totally free. That is crazy. Good job.
The other interesting thing, at least 2 of those, I don't know too much about UT, are like STEM schools, and I feel like that is one area culturally and socially that needs investment in young talent from all economic backgrounds. I mean, they are the backbone of human advancement medically, engineering wise, like technology is going to help humanity out of a lot of situations we're quickly finding ourselves in, and investing in young minds from, all economic backgrounds and opportunities, I think is great, particularly with STEM.
Even to like your point, Cameron, though, like, so UT announced that their whole system will be a part of that. They have 9 institutions throughout Texas, including my alma mater that I went to. And the school that the 2 biggest majors at my school were nursing and teaching, or nursing and education. So there will be a lot of nurses and teachers who don't have to worry about paying back student loans. Like, they can just focus on like getting their education that they need. Like, it's a really big deal. Also, so I'm excited about this.
Do you realize what this does to one of my favorite movies, Good Will Hunting? It would not be, the plot wouldn't exist because he could have just enrolled.
Well, it would be a much shorter movie.
He could have just enrolled at MIT instead of having to be a custodian there. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It would have been a YouTube short, not a full feature-length film.
It'd be a TikTok film.
What was that, Quibi? Quibi, that vertical one during COVID.
We just took something really cool and just didn't respect it.
No, this is awesome. I'm just saying.
Respect it.
I respect this.
I'm playing around.
I'll just make an observation. The scrappy kid from the bad part of Boston, he would just got right in.
He would have got right in. I'm just saying, he would have passed the academic evaluations. He would have been enrolled. Just like Seinfeld wouldn't have worked in the era of cell phones. I'm just saying, there's things that change his culture and changes movies. All right. What's the last thing?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned TikTok, and that's actually something that I want to talk about because they had a very interesting announcement this week. And that's that they will be opening a print publishing company. They're going to make a bunch of printed books to sell.
Why?
TikTok?
TikTok. Yes.
What are these books about?
Trust TikTok, because so they must see that the internet's gonna fall apart or something, because people need more. Well,
so
books.
So it's technically ByteDance, which owns TikTok. They'll be over the printing company. It does feel really weird to say that this technology company is getting, or this video company is getting into books. But when you look at TikTok, one of the biggest sort of subcultures on the app is book talk. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And book talk, if you talk to anybody in the publishing industry, book talk has blown up everything. Authors are being encouraged to start TikToks just to promote their own books. There have been so many books that have become popular because they went viral on Book Talk.
What was the number amount? Something like $6 billion or something of books have been sold because of Book Talk. It's some huge number.
Over 60 million, books have been.
But literally, we see reports like Barnes and Noble is expanding now. They're opening 90 new stores this year or whatever, because people are buying books again, which I think you're talking about pendulum swings, Derek. People are so dissatisfied with disposable digital content that they're I would like to have tangible content worth investing in.
Give me the vinyl. Give me the CD. I had a kid in my Discord. He was like, Derek, man, when are you going to start dropping your albums on CD and vinyl? And it's just, I'm like, you care about that? 100%. He's like, bro, I only buy that. I was like, oh, okay.
Cohen had he's in high school. He had 2 friends over on Friday night, and he came, hey, Dad, can we go down to the vinyl shop? They went down to the vinyl shop. I mean, that's, I love it. Hey, Jaden has $40. Can we go to the vinyl store? I mean, they wanted to go buy music, not stream music.
I was going to say, this is a side note too, for the creatives that are out there. I remember Pharrell saying this. Somebody asked Pharrell, Jesse, you'll appreciate this. They asked him, they said, how do you stay relevant? He says, I just wait. Because everything comes back in time. And I really feel like film-wise, audio-wise, we're about to get some really creative stuff because none of the prepackaged junk food is working.
Yeah.
And I think we're going into a good season of some good stuff. So creatives, get creating. We need you. Get creating.
I literally saw a t-shirt going around, a hipster t-shirt that just said physical media on it. And it's here we go.
I love that. I've had a lot of meetings this year about bringing back analog is cool again, bring back the magazine. Yeah. We're working on that. So, but I thought a line in Emily's write-up about this was so funny. It's the largest, social media app in the world is now investing in taking us off the app to spend times reading a 400-page novel not on our phones, which is beautiful. They've done ebooks and stuff in the past, but like this is them going full on into publishing physical media, and they'll be a game changer because that the algorithm will favor if you're talking about a TikTok title versus other titles, so.
I'm excited about this because like TikTok changed really so much of like our social media and really just like our culture and stuff. And I'm excited it's going to change the book culture more because we are in a literacy crisis. The amount of misspellings I have to read online every day because people don't know how to spell or use proper grammar.
I'm sorry,
breaks my
Emily.
brain.
Emily,
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
not. It's literally everyone. Words are hard. I get it. It's my job as words. I need y'all to be better. So I'm excited about
There you
this.
go.
If only they had some sort of simple AI tool.
Shut up.
that was free and
Run it.
No.
available to everyone.
All right, that'll do it for
Relevant Buzz.
Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com where we are posting all that stuff. And if you've noticed in the last couple of weeks, we've been posting a lot more on IG too. All right. Thanks, Emily. Stay tuned. After this break, Matt Redman joins us. Can you quote Peter Griffin and St. Augustine? Are you a fan of Theo Von and the Nicene Creed? If so, Not the Sermon is the podcast for you. Join Jamie and Eric, a senior pastor and associate pastor, for a hilarious blend of comedy and theology. They roast church culture, parody modern worship, and discuss tough theological topics. This blend of the silly and the sacred is your new podcast obsession. Search for Not the Sermon anywhere you listen to podcasts. Today's show is presented by K-Love Books. Many of us sing worship songs each Sunday at church. We listen to worship music from our favorite artists. But what does it really mean to live a worship-led life in such a me-centered world? Worship leader Chris Tomlin's latest book, How Great Is Our God, is a 21-day journey that invites you to understand the true meaning of worship and consider the importance of reshaping your world around God and laying yourself at His feet every day. Because when we enter into new depths of relationship with God, our perspectives and posture toward our problems change. Be sure to check out How Great Is Our God on Amazon or wherever you love to buy books. Well, our guest today is Matt Redman. He's an OG worship artist who's just released a brand new Christmas project in Excelsis. We spoke with Matt about why he wanted to create new songs for the season and how he hopes to challenge people to embrace a different side of the Christmas story. Here's our conversation with Matt Redman.
Well, this is your first Christmas record in nearly a decade. What got you in the Christmas mood?
As an Englishman, it's funny because a lot of people don't make Christmas records, like English Christian musicians, Christian worship leaders. I remember the first time I did it, I made one a few years ago, like a full-length one, and a lot of my friends were quite bemused by like, what, you're making a Christmas album? What are you doing? And I was like, well, there's a lot of good stuff to celebrate at Christmas. And so this time around, a little 3-song EP. It's called In Excelsis, and it just was up for the challenge again of writing some new Christmas songs. I feel like at Christmas sometimes the thing is, let's just sing all the old stuff, and that's great. There's a lot of pluses to that. Remembering that we're part of this, we've got a family history, and things, just. Making people welcome who maybe aren't usually in church. Maybe they might know one of those old songs, one of those old carols. But the creative part of me thinks, okay, that's awesome. I'd love to do that. And in fact, we have a version of Silent Night on the CD. But I love to try and push forward. Can we write some new congregational Christmas songs? Can we possibly find a way to bring new voice to those old themes and let them live in a new way?
I think it's funny how Christmas songs have such a short run because arguably we could be singing these all year round since they're about Jesus. What is your opinion on singing a Christmas song in like July?
It's a funny thing because when you've made a record and then, the label are like, probably mid-October, they're like, hey, can you announce your Christmas record on social media? I'm like, what? We haven't even had Halloween, Thanksgiving, we are a long way out. and it feels a bit hypocritical to be wandering around Nordstrom and going, oh, how on earth have they got their Christmas stuff already? You're kind of disgusted, but then you're at the same time, you're promoting your Christmas album online. So the big point is we shouldn't just be singing the incarnation theme at Christmas. Like the themes that we're singing at Christmas, they've become a Christmas theme, but actually they're way wider than that. We should be singing about the birth of Christ, about this amazing miracle of the incarnation, Word made flesh, God moving into the neighborhood, if you like. We should be singing that the whole year round, and that should be showing up. And actually, I've done some studies around that. I've done some studies where you've taken the 25 themes from the Apostles' Creed and said, like, how often are these showing up in our songs in churches right now? And one of the ones that doesn't show up is the incarnation. It literally only gets a look in at Christmas, and it's kind of an important part of the story. So I think, so you're really right. You're really right. It's in a way, a Christmas song is not just for Christmas.
God the Son, remaining what he was, became what he was not.
Well, getting back to these songs, you talked about wanting to dive into the mystery of the Christmas story. Why is the mystery the part that intrigues you the most?
Mystery is such a huge part of worship. I feel like quite often we don't do the best job of presenting mystery. And really, I guess when I talk about mystery, I'm talking about wonder, but I'm also talking about things like paradox. So many of the things that we hold dear to as Christians, they really come into their own when you celebrate both sides of the mystery. So you've got the friendship and the fear. You've got the power and the peace. You've got the mercy and the majesty. I like to sometimes quote this thought, like, he's the God who thunders and whispers. He's the God who terrifies and befriends. He's the king whose footstool is the earth, and yet he knelt down and washed the earth from the feet of his disciples. He's the one who hung in agony on beams of wood that he himself had called into being. And really what we want to do as worship leaders and songwriters, we want to take people into that mystery and make sure we're not just skewing to one side. We're not just singing the peace of the Lord, but we are singing the power of the Lord. We're not just solely focusing on the mercy of the Lord, but we are focusing on the majesty of the Lord. And, one of the whole big things is the transcendence and the immanence. The transcendence of God, that he's completely off the charts of anything we could reason in terms of his holiness and greatness and majesty. And then the immanence of God, that he gets in the mix with us. He gets very involved and up close and personal in our lives. And you got to sing about both. If you only sing about the immanence without the transcendence, the immanence doesn't feel as special anyway. The wonder of the friendship is the fact that he is to be feared, and yet he wants friendship with us. And really, that's when the little explosion goes off in your soul, when you bring in both sides. So Christmas is a great time to do that. Here's this God who could have just been high and holy and standoffish and just done his own thing and looked down from afar and been completely out of reach. But he came down and became within reach, and he reached out to us. And that's a glorious thing to sing about.
He's the Son of God and the Son of Man.
What sorts of things are you hoping people wrestle with when they hear these songs?
I mean, I think it would be just to enter into the wonder of what's happening in these themes. Because sometimes you can get so familiar with a theme like this, right? It doesn't feel wondrous anymore. And actually, the job of a song, a job of a worship song, can be to lead you back into wonder, to be, to take that universal theme but express it in a unique way and help you find a new window or a new angle onto it, and hopefully lead you into a place where it's not just information, but it's revelation. It's not just a story, but it's actually, wow, this is an amazing truth about what God did and who he is and what he showed us. And yeah, I love the songs that can do that, and it's a fascinating story the more you get into it, right? You've got the kind of pristine, holy, bright radiance of the angels, but they're in the field with like sheep excrement everywhere, that's crazy, isn't it? So you get these really cool little dynamics happening the more you enter into the story.
All is calm. All is bright round yon virgin mother and child.
really curious, is there anything different about writing a Christmas song as opposed to just a normal worship song?
Great question. For me, I'm kind of going in with the same approach as a normal kind of congregational worship song, because what can happen if you're not careful is you just tell the story of Christmas or the incarnation, and that's not what I'm usually trying to do in my songs. I want my songs not just to be a classroom. I want them to be a chapel too. So I don't want them just to tell a story or teach something or remind or instruct. I actually want that classroom part in my song, but I want the chapel as well. I want that space where you can respond to that. You can tell God what you think about that. You can say thank you. You can bring a phrase in reply to that. So for me, I'm trying to write songs that are classrooms and chapels. They've got not just description, but they've got devotion as well. And that can actually be a thing in a worship song where you never get out of describing mode. You're telling the story in the verse, then you get to the chorus, you're still telling the story. Then you get to verse 2, you're still telling some more detail of the story. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. But there is a beautiful dynamic that happens in worship where you tell the story and then you respond to that and you tell God thank you, or you offer up some kind of praise in response. And a lot of the best worship songs do that. Think about some of the classics, How Great Is Our God, Tomlin, or Here I Am to Worship, Tim Hughes, or King of Kings more recently, Brooke Lidgewood and the writers on that. Just, it's got a lot of classroom in the verse, but then the choruses are a chapel. And so when I write a Christmas song, I want it to be the same. I don't want it just to be a narrative. I don't want it just to be retelling the story. That stuff's great, but I want it to go a little further than that and actually bring it into this worship moment where we reply to God and the wonders that we see.
That was Matt Redman. Make sure to check out his newest album, In Excelsis, which is available now. All right, after this break, it's Turkey Table Topics. Well, Relevant has a lot happening this year, and we don't want you to miss a thing. Make sure to sign up for our newsletter right there on the front page at relevantmagazine.com, and we'll send you our top 5 trending stories sent to your inbox every weekday. We'll also send you a weekly podcast newsletter with the latest episodes, some fan extras, and first peeks at the new shows that we're going to be rolling out throughout this year. Make sure to sign up. It's the best way to keep in touch with everything we got going on. Okay, it's time for
Turkey Table Topics.
Turkey Table Topics. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you're going to find yourself caught, whether you're at Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving, you're going to find the conversation going direction you want to go. So we have a list of questions for you guys. We're going to post it on the website, on the podcast page. We'll post it on social. We'll share these with you guys. Just some primers, some table topics for you guys to take with you. Keep it in your pocket. Keep it on your phone. But we're going to test drive a couple of them. So here you go. All right, Emily put these together for us. So we have Thanksgiving and holiday questions. We have some general questions, so we can mix it up, okay? All right, so I'll just toss it to you guys. Just, here you go. What's the most overrated Thanksgiving food? That's one of the holiday questions. What do you guys think?
Anything in the casserole category. Anything too soupy.
You already know what I'm about to say.
Green bean casserole.
You already know.
Dude, the other day, Cohen.
Now, I did have one. I tried it last year at somebody's house, and it was edible.
Dude.
So
Cohen told me the other day, to my shock, that his favorite vegetable is green bean casserole. And I said, do you know how disappointed Mr. Derek Miner is going to be in you?
Cohen, you just lost a little flavor point.
A little.
Cohen one of the sauciest.
I don't know. That sounds like a parenting issue, if we're being honest.
He's one of the sauciest dudes. I mean, he's quoting Tribe Called Quest.
Literally.
The boy is saucy.
Yeah.
But this right here is a misstep.
No, he
man.
likes green. I don't get it. But I told him, I was like,
this is a misstep.
No, Derek said that, no, it's not good. That's too white. You can't like it.
This is a misstep.
And I think
he
Derek,
plays the bass for Christ's sake, man.
Derek, you and I can both agree that the only socially acceptable way to serve green bean casserole is with disposable dishware that has predefined compartmentalized sections, so that soupiness doesn't just bleed into the other good food. Am I wrong on that?
No, you are wrong. The only way to serve it is throw it out the window. That's the way you serve it. Like just you. That's how you serve it.
If you could instantly master any skill, what would it be?
Does it have to be like a real skill?
Hey, it's just trying to change.
What is a fake skill?
Uncle Phil.
Because for me, it's going to be telepathy.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
We are going superpowers. We just went superpowers. Okay.
For me, it's either
Flight.
that or it's fast travel, teleportation. That's what it would be, teleportation for me. Because
I was going to say close-up magic, but we're saying actual magic is on the table.
I think we keep it with a skill you can learn and perfect.
Jesse the Sorcerer Supreme.
Wizardry,
not a close-up magic, but wizardry.
For me, it would be construction work.
Oh,
because this has been a very frustrating last couple years, guys. When it comes to my home, things break down all the time, and I'm constantly having to fix it, and I'm constantly shelling out money. I just wish I just knew how to hang drywall, like, you know,
dude,
running electricity, plumbing.
It's called YouTube, man. It's easy to learn this stuff.
Listen, dog.
Famous last words right there.
Exactly. You're too confident,
dude.
bro.
I've learned how to do all that stuff. You can do it.
Look, there's hanging drywall, and then there's hanging it where it doesn't look like somebody that's a rapper hung it.
Yeah.
Like that's.
I feel that. I just over the years, like building out studios in our office and stuff like that, I was too cheap to like pay somebody to do stuff. So I'd figure out how to like. If we want to build a set or build out walls, I would just build out the walls. I need to retile this. I'll tile that. I'll put it in the flooring. So, I mean,
listen, I am the DIY king, but there's just a level of DIY-ness.
A level of it. Yeah. The professional, the finish.
That you can't do it. And then it's just, or you do it and then you have to pay someone to undo it and then do it again.
True pros. Craftsmen. I agree with you. It's really impressive. Yeah. They have tools that we don't have access to. All right. Next one. What dish could single-handedly ruin Thanksgiving if it went missing?
Well, there's the obvious, right? It's the turkey or the protein, but let's just take that off the table.
I'm going to go mac and cheese.
It would ruin Thanksgiving if there's no mac and cheese. Ruin it.
I got to have mac and
all
cheese.
Right.
Well, in the black households, me as the black representative across of all black people in all of the world, it would
You're
be
the representative.
It would be the dressing with the jellied cranberry sauce.
Yeah,
because you don't get dressing often, so it's like you usually only get it on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So if you don't have that, it's a problem.
I'm going to go dessert.
Which one though?
Because.
Which dessert would ruin it?
Just the category. Category. I'm making my own rules.
Got it.
What's your favorite?
A real bummer.
What's your favorite fall dessert?
Dude, for my money, there's few things better, especially this time of year, than like a warm apple pie with a cold scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. The juxtaposition of temperatures and textures.
To be an American. Or at least I know
that's definitely
when I pull up in that American flag Cybertruck.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Is he's eating an apple pie with ice cream and driving a Cybertruck with his niece.
Yeah, hey, I go into an all-American house where I got one just cooling on the windowsill. My only worry in the world at that point is bears wandering over and taking that thing.
All right, last one. There's a lot. We will post all these so you guys can actually take these. Are some great questions. Last one I'm going to ask: what's the best decision you've made so far in life?
Getting married to my wife and having my kids. That's it.
Are they listening right now?
They will. Yeah.
No,
I'm
I just love my family. That's it.
I'm gonna say the same answer as Derek. And I'm gonna say number 2 is when I saved the Cybertruck, right when it came out, and my number's being called soon. I got the American flag rap guy on speed dial. So,
Emily, what about you?
Mine's probably deciding from the get-go that I was not going to be a Cybertruck fan.
There you go. Best decision you've ever made. Glad to hear it. All right. Like I said, turkey table topics. We're going to share these with you guys. It's going to be a lifeline for you if conversations get awkward this Thursday.
Turkey table topics.
Well, thank you again to Matt Redman for joining us today. Make sure to check out his new Christmas album, In Excelsis, which is available now. Also, make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every day, where we are posting the intersection of faith, life, culture, justice, all the good stuff. And like I mentioned, we are posting a lot more on IG now, so make sure to give us a follow over there and on X and Facebook and wherever you consume content. All right, on that note, we will wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Emily Brown.
All right, we'll see you on next Tuesday. We'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
You can't say the sky's the limit when people are on the moon.
Relevant Podcast Network.